Orasi, that's ORASI.com for more information. Make sure, please introduce our guest, sir.
She's only the executive director of the Tour Championship. Allison Fillmore to the microphone. Hi, Allison.
Well, hello.
How are you today?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing fine now.
Just fine?
I'm great. I'm great now.
All right.
I'm great.
Just checking.
Okay, I'm good.
Just checking.
Let's go.
Allison, just talk to us about it. I mean, being the executive director of the Tour Championship, tell people what that means for our listeners out there.
So it means that I'm in charge of every single aspect of what happens at the tournament. If Justin Thomas trips on a rope, I have implications. If hospitality, ticket sales, operations, you name it, sales, marketing, service, everything about the tournament and every aspect of that tournament, I'm in charge of. So I have an awesome staff that literally doesn't get enough credit. So they are fabulous, and literally they make me look fabulous. So I pinch myself every day.
My first question for you, that big, beautiful Rolex watch.
No, you can't have any.
No, I don't want it, but how valuable is it to have a sponsor like Rolex and all of the different sponsors that are there to put the tournament together?
Sponsorship with the PGA Tour is very important. We have probably more official marketing partners than every league combined. We have, I want to say, over 200 plus.
Wow.
They really make what we do come to life. They're very important to what we do, and from Tiffany to MD Anderson to Coca-Cola and Southern, we have some of the best sponsors out there. So they are really, really integral in what we do and how we promote the sport.
So just explain the Tour Championship. People, we're trying to educate our people on golf, and me too, about it's the end of the FedEx Cup.
It is, and just to make it a little bit more understandable, it is basically the Super Bowl of golf.
Right.
Every single golfer works all year round to compete in the FedEx Cup. We start in New York with the top 125. It goes down from there. We go to Boston. We go to, the BMW, which will be in Philadelphia this year, and then to Atlanta. You've got the top 30 players in the world that compete for the fame and fortune of the FedEx Cup.
Right.
That's $10 million they're walking away with if they win. So everybody.
What's wrong with me?
So you'll see at the end of interviews, a lot of the guys will talk about kind of what they did in the last tournament, but ultimately their goal is to get to East Lake and play in the FedEx Cup for the Tour Championship.
Jesus. Now, the guys who win the four majors, they're automatically qualified.
No.
Okay, is it based on your ranking?
It's based on the top 30 players. So if you are in the top 30 based on, so difference between the majors and what we do, the majors, like for example, just a general player can come out and win a major just based off of them playing really well that week.
That weekend. Mm-hmm.
So with us, you have to play well all year round in order to make it to the Tour Championship.
So it ain't just automatic qualified. You
you got to bust your butt all year round.
Wow.
Yep.
See, I didn't know that. See, I always thought that a guy who won a major, he punched his ticket like, I'm FedEx Cup bound, baby.
Nope.
Wow.
So does number 31 always complain?
Number 31 is sad. He is sad.
I can't get a chance to get the 10 mil.
I know.
I mean, when you get to that point, what are some of the things that golfers tell you when they get to that point? Is it more pressure on them when they feel like it's a smaller field, there's only 30 there? I mean, do they play the whole weekend? How does that work for them when they finally get to East Lake?
So when they get there, yes, they're very focused. They're very driven. A lot of times at different tournaments, you have a lot of sponsor obligations. We don't have a lot at the Tour Championship because they want to focus on their ultimate goal of getting there and winning the FedEx Cup. So, we have events throughout the year. We have our Monday night event that happens at the College Football Hall of Fame. Ludacris was there last year. We had CeeLo there. Luda. He was awesome. CeeLo was there prior to, and that event is put on by the Southern Company, one of our partners. And then Tuesday night we have the Payne Stewart Award. And then Wednesday through Sunday, you have competition. So Wednesday's a practice day, but Thursday starts the honest competition. Exciting stuff.
A lot of stuff going on, man.
A lot of stuff going on.
I'm still just thinking about the $10 million prize. And what's crazy, we like to always do this after different events. We'll pull up just the purse prizes, and the guys who don't even make the cut leave with 2 days of work. They leave with some pretty good coins.
Oh yeah, usually so last year we had Xander Schauffele. He won the Tour Championship barely by his putt that literally circled
Right.
the
It almost rimmed out.
Yep. And then Justin Thomas won the FedEx Cup. So Xander walked away as the champion for the Tour Championship and probably walked away with about, I would say, $2 million. So not a bad payday. You know, just
For 4 days of work.
Not a bad payday.
4 days of work.
Not bad. Rough life,
Wow.
I tell you, but you know.
Not a bad day of work. So you have a champion of the tournament and a FedEx.
Sometimes it happens that way. It's only happened, I want to say, twice. Usually the person that wins the Tour Championship is the winner of the FedEx Cup as well.
Okay. Because it's a total number of points. They accumulate points all year,
Correct.
right? Which leads to their
So Xander was a little bit higher in the standings,
Right.
And Justin was right there. So
Yeah.
if he would have come in first, obviously he would have won the Tour
I
Championship.
played with Justin on the Tiger Woods game. That's my guy.
He told me he knows you pretty
Yeah,
well.
that's my guy.
Maceo, like
Our layup game is very. We just like to get on. We're not big with our driver, but once we get there, we put. You drive for show, put for dough.
I like that. Can I steal that line?
You can. You can borrow that.
Thank you.
I'm a real golfer over here.
Thank you.
What makes East Lake so important? What makes this golf course so different?
East Lake is the home of Bobby Jones. The
Yes.
history that oozes out of this clubhouse is amazing. This is the first golf course in Atlanta, opened in 1904, and home of Bobby Jones. I mean, first place he played, last place he played. Home of the 1963 Ryder Cup, where Arnold Palmer was the last playing captain. I mean, so much happens at this club. Starting in 1998, we had the Tour Championship. Kind of went back and forth between a couple different locations, settled in Atlanta in 2004, and has been there since. So it is the ultimate accumulation of power, strength, versatility for the PGA Tour because it ends at East Lake.
We come back.
Doesn't it?
Y'all gonna learn something, man.
We're going to teach you a lot more. We
Gonna teach
just
you a lot.
get started with
Then when we
Allison.
come back, you know what we're gonna talk about? The Tiger effect.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
can't wait.
Stay with us.
Yes, sir.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, and father of 5. I'm also an expert on drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids, and there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bath water to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Everybody successful lays a blueprint out. We laid the blueprint out. I stayed true to my dreams, and by doing that, eventually it came true.
A lot of times, you know, it's like in life, right? Life brings like drama, and you got to deal with this person, and then funky relationship here, and all these things. You try and just kind of balance them out as best I can.
Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do.
Unleash your beast. Write your history.
We're back. People all acting all kind of ways. But we're back here with Allison Field, Executive Director of the Tour Championship. And so make sure go ahead and start. Ask the questions.
So yes, Allison. Let's talk about the Tiger Woods effect and
Yes,
how
sir.
he really, truly moves the meter when we talked about PGA.
It's amazing to watch him play again. One, he had a surgery that literally not many people can recover this well from.
Your back is done.
Yeah, he is amazing to me. Secondly, you know, he has created this competition that he's playing against right now, which is amazing because you've got these kids that literally stopped playing football, stopped playing basketball, and they started playing golf.
Right.
And now they're here competing against Tiger. So he is literally creating his current competition. Yeah. It's so fun to watch. You know, the crowds and everything, ratings are up. What he does for the game blows my mind. He's so fun to watch.
So
fun to watch.
What would we expect? Last year we were there on a Thursday and Friday. We saw what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
If he's in there on a Thursday and Friday, it's a whole different crowd, right?
Oh yes. I can honestly tell you that ticket sales are up quite a bit this year. We're up about 60% where we were over last year. Wow. A lot of that has to do with Tiger. A lot of that has to do with just some of the changes that we're doing at the Tour Championship. But what he does for the game cannot be ignored. He's amazing. He really is. He really is.
I just always find it fun. Like, so I was one of the people, I think he's going to win a few more tournaments, but I just think the fact that he's playing, I don't think people understand that. Like you said, you talking about back surgery.
Mm-hmm.
People don't come back from that with the type of swing and the type of game that he has.
Spinal fusion surgery, like ridiculous. He's my hero. I don't know about
Let me ask you this.
else, but...
'Cause I always want to ask this because we heard it at the Masters that they've changed the courses to deal with the length and the way the players play.
Well, they got Tiger proof.
Do y'all do the same and try to lengthen it or make the hill a little harder to get to? with these type, because everybody can swing now. You know, you got
yeah,
Fowler and all those guys, and Justin.
The average distance has increased over the last 5 years. So I get data at the end of every tournament, and it kind of tells you how far everybody hits and where the balls land, and it's pretty interesting. So yes, I mean, pin placement is important in terms of a tournament. So you know, you can work with that. You know, pushing back greens and stuff like that. We don't typically do that. East Lake is such a pristine course. We want to really honor it the way it was created. So we don't do a lot of changes to the course.
Because when you talk about that data, I think just maybe judging from watching it, almost everybody's hitting almost 320.
Oh, yeah.
325 now.
Average is over 300. Easily.
And that is so crazy because it was a time, if you could drive the ball 275, you would consider like a long hitter.
Yep, exactly. Now these guys are shooting that with an iron.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they hit it with an iron.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Being a woman over the Tour Championship.
Yes, sir.
What does that say about you, of course, but just where the game has gone? I mean, could you think about it? We talk about what golf has and some of the, it's the old man sport, it's the old guy sport. For you to be the executive director of the Tour Championship, what does that say for the sport?
Honestly, it really comes down from the top, and I credit Jay Monahan, our commissioner, for that. He is really big in terms of diversity and inclusion in the workplace, and really it's about the best person that's for the job. And when I came to the PGA Tour, that was something that really, really excited me about this opportunity because they're very inclusive. It's important, you know, we work together, we create environments that are welcoming for everybody. And honestly, Jay has been a breath of fresh air, not just for the sport, but for all sports because of what he believes in and how he's bringing this to the PGA Tour. I can honestly say that I enjoy every day of my job, and hopefully it's someday I'll retire with the tour because I truly believe what they're doing is amazing in sports, just in business, period, with, you know, their focus and being inclusive with everybody.
Do you get to travel the other courses to kind of see how other tournaments, how they function? What are some of the things they do, and kind of bring some of those ideas back? Or we're kind of set in stone here in Atlanta?
No, absolutely. If you're not learning and you're not diversifying, you're not improving, you're not going to get any better. So not only do I go to golf tournaments, but I go to other sporting events as well, whether it be tennis, whether it be basketball, whether it be football. You're always trying to look to find things that you can incorporate into your event to make it even better. So absolutely, I'm going everywhere.
And just, you know, I want to say out of state, but what went on earlier with the African American women at the golf course, and, you know, talking about the game and trying to make sure it's inclusive. Your thoughts on what went on out there?
I think it's ridiculous, honestly, because, you know, it's everyone should be able to golf and be able to golf by themselves, not being bothered. And when I read that, I literally fell off my chair. It's just, come on, it is 2018 and this stuff is happening still. I don't care who it is, black, white, orange. It's ridiculous, and it really bothered me that.
I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all following me, it's gonna be a long time.
Yeah,
y'all might have to go around.
I'm the same way. I mean, you got to make sure you're lining up for your shot. You've got to, you know, you really want to play well, and you want to focus and learn about the game and be a fundamental golfer.
Right.
You need to take time. You need to learn your stroke. You need to, you know, take this opportunity to sit down and really figure out what you're doing. And golf's not an easy game in the slightest. So
we got to take us a quick break real quick. We got more with Allison. Hey, after this one, we might have to put Allison in the hot seat.
Uh-oh.
Bring it.
Okay.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by GetSchooled and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
JBT 700 Miami Circle 30324. It's not a chain, it's a chain reaction.
Invest $49 a month at a real gym.
For more info, go to facebook.com/Jeans Body Tech.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, we back. Make sure you just got to listen to choking on a golf course. It happens. Hey, man, we're back, man. We're here.
My dad just tastes like Lay. He finna call you, boy.
It don't matter. I got golfers in here saying they can choke. I got golfers who say, your dad can call me all week. I got golfers who just say they can choke. I don't need to say anything else, Dad. We're back with Allison Fillmore, Executive Director of the Tour Championship.
Hey, man, this boy is crazy, man.
So, Allison, let me just talk to you about your previous roles.
Yes.
So, you just tell people your track from Ohio University to the Executive Director.
All right. So, started off in minor league hockey. They had enough of me because the league folded as soon as after a year. Made it out to the Sacramento Kings. Worked there for about a year and a half.
Were you there during the Weber days?
I was. Chris Webber followed me to Atlanta. I mean, he literally lived in Tyrone, the same town as me.
C-Dub.
Yep. From the Kings, I came to the Falcons. My husband, he was also in sports as well. So I said, hey, you followed me out here. I'm going to follow you. So he decided to come to Atlanta. And, well, we weren't married at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I started with the Falcons, was there for about 5 years, sold Georgia Force, premium sales, ticket sales, right when Arthur bought the team.
Georgia Force,
yes. Then started with the Atlanta Dream. I was the first employee, probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. I had the opportunity to really start a team. It was amazing. From there, I worked for Atlanta Motor Speedway for the past 8 years, was the vice president of corporate sales for them. And then last April, actually, a year ago right now, I got a call from the tour asking me to give some feedback on their event here in at the Tour Championship. And little did I know, they asked me to come work for them. So it all starts there.
It's like you've touched every... Yeah. Except for the Hawks.
Yes. And you know, I mean, close enough. Close enough.
Skip that.
Well, that's wrong. It's always wrong, man.
Come on,
Malik came in.
We all love each other.
Yeah. But what's funny is because we do a show on Wednesday, and we always talking about how kids, once your playing time is over, you can always do something in sports. There's so many jobs in sports, and people just don't know about them.
No, people don't know about them, and this industry has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger just since I've started. You know, much more strategic in terms of planning for kids to come out of school and actually start in sports. Obviously, ticket sales is an easy route, but you've got operations, you've got corporate sales, you've got marketing, you've got PR. You know, depending upon the sport that you do, there's other realms as well. You know, baseball, you've got groundskeeping, you know, you've got, you know, in football, you've got, you know, travel. It all depends on the sport. Equipment manager, exactly. So it all depends on the sport that you're doing, but there's room for a lot of people, and it's a fun industry. It really is.
Once last year tour championship ended, when did you start for this year's?
The next day.
The next day.
We literally had a golf tournament. We had our AMAM that next day, but we had our renewal letters going out that next week. So it's a year-round gig. It's funny because people come up to me and say, "What do you do the other, 11 months out of the year?" You know, I just sit around, twiddle my thumbs. No, we're planning for this thing all year round. We have an 18-month planning cycle. So, I mean, I'm already planning for 19. It's very focused.
Do you think people in Atlanta truly understand, like, the history of East Lake Meadows?
Honestly, I don't think the story could be told enough because literally this place was one of the worst zip codes in the United States.
Right.
They had an employment rate of 14%. 14%.
Wow.
Not, unemployment rate. Employment rate.
Right.
There was a drug trade of over $35 million going through East Lake Meadows.
Right there, East Lake, yes,
It
indeed.
it really was one of the most dangerous zip codes in the United States. Violent crime has been reduced by 96%.
Wow.
What the East Lake Foundation does is gives back to the community and really creates a cradle to college education pipeline that has changed what East Lake means to the city. I am floored. In fact, we did a tour of the school and the area just last week for some new staff that we had, and the story is amazing. If you don't know about it, go to eastlakefoundation.org and really learn. It's part of a larger group called Purpose Built Communities, and they're literally taking what East Lake has done and modeling it in cities all over the United States. Wow. Tom Cousins is a visionary, and what he has done for this city and just the East Lake Foundation is pretty amazing.
14%.
We talk about that. Remember when we were going over that? Every time I ride by, I say people would be amazed at what this used to be.
Absolutely.
Like, you would be shocked and appalled. Like, all of these golfers who are walking around, people would be like, ain't no way I'm going.
No, absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Well, that one of the reasons, because it wasn't always held at East Lake, the Tour Championship, right?
I'm sorry?
Was the Tour Championship always at East Lake?
It started in 1998. No, it's not always been at East Lake. Started in 1998, kind of went back and forth between Houston and solidified its space in Atlanta history in 2004.
2004. And it became what it is. Talk to us about the importance of first tee and things of that nature.
First tee really, not just golf. First tee brings so many different values to what the game of golf is about. Perseverance, respect, things of that nature. It's not just coming out and bringing kids out and showing them how to golf. It's teaching them how to act, teaching them how to be great citizens, teaching them to be stewards of the game, and really getting out there and talking about the game and what it does and what values it teaches these kids. It's pretty amazing. I'm on the board of the First Tee of Atlanta, and to be out there and see these kids and what they do and what this organization does, it's really amazing. So if anyone can support an organization, this one is phenomenal.
Hey, you heard the First Tee, man.
Yep.
Great things.
Yeah, man. I should have been a member of First Tee. That wouldn't have been getting hazed by my uncle and my dad. But,
we might have to get you some lessons.
I think
that just hurt my feelings. It's bad enough my 9 hours didn't work today. Oh my God. That's crazy. But on a serious note, with the tournament coming this year, I really want Tiger showing up and showing out to make Bobby Jackson over here, who keeps sending me crazy stuff. I want him to shut Atlanta down. I think this will be a perfect time for
my
him to get a win
Goodness.
in Atlanta. Get that first win in Atlanta.
How awesome would that be?
What?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Come out and support. I mean, this tournament, everything that we do once we, kind of take care of all of our financial responsibilities goes back to charity. So not a lot of people know that. It's a pretty amazing event.
And speaking of charity, one thing that we know about the PGA, they just gave it, $2.5 million?
$2.5 million back to the Eastlake Foundation, First Tee of Eastlake, and First Tee of Atlanta. So, and that's just not the beginning. We've given away over almost $28 million. And that's just that's just the Tour Championship. Just the PGA Tour in a whole, $180 million last year.
And which is more than NBA, NFL, all of them
combined.
Right.
Yep.
Now, for a young fella like Emmanuel who is trying to get his golf game together, tell him the basic clubs that we need to get him in.
You need a driver. You probably need a putter. You probably need a 9-iron. I would say I really like my hybrid driver. So
He's going to need a couple of sandwiches,
yeah,
too.
we're going to
a lot of stuff.
Patrina's probably better served talking to you about this.
I'm going to need a lot of stuff to get out, a lot of ditches and trees and sand wedges. I need all of that. I'm telling you now. If y'all waiting to go behind me, how they say just go around
really
me?
good caddy.
Yeah, just go around.
Yeah.
Man. This is going to be a long thing.
We're going to have to teach him how to flop. He's going to have to learn punch. There's so much he's going to have to learn.
I'm going to be happy to get off the
7-iron is important.
I'm celebrating the first time I get off the tee.
I can already see him slicing right.
Yeah,
I can already see it.
4 is in your vocabulary, I'm sure.
So tell people, why is it, what's so great about the game of golf, in your opinion?
The best thing about the game of the golf is that you depend on yourself. You literally control your own destiny. So whether it's, you have a bad day, you can, choke on the course.
She can say it.
Yeah, you can say it. You can say it.
But really, you control your own destiny. You are how you play. So it's all up to you.
We got time for the hot seat before we go to break? Okay, we got to go to break. When we come back, we got to throw in a hot seat. We got some quick questions for you. We want you to throw them.
I'm ready for them.
Okay,
I've been ready.
Everybody say that. We're going to find out in a minute.
All right.
We'll find out when we come back from the break. Y'all sit back. We'll be back.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda, that's $10,012. Please drive around.
10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Maceo Hurd.
It's your boy E. Glaze. You listen to the dopest sports show on radio. It's The Crush on Sensation Station Network.
Damn, Gina.
Yeah. Hey, we're back, man, and we're about to go into, what was that? That Bo Bach, man. We got to go to this hot seat. We're going to throw some hot questions at you. You answer real quick. Quick questions, quick answers.
All right.
You ready? Make sure what you got for it first.
Your favorite sports moment.
My favorite sports moment when the Cavs won sorry. I'm a Cleveland girl.
Cleveland girl.
We don't win very often. We got to take advantage of it.
Best golf game you've had?
Pass.
When we get in trouble.
Yeah,
We heard you.
Who are the Cleveland Browns going to take it number one?
Oh my goodness. Somebody good. God. Yeah. Please, cross your fingers, everybody out there in sports world.
What was the hardest sport for you to understand with all the sports you've been a part of?
Probably NASCAR. There's a lot of moving parts, literally, in that one. And, it's not your typical sports event, so it takes a little bit to really understand the strategy in that one.
Can you do NASCAR without the headphones?
Yes. I don't recommend it, especially at Bristol. But, yes, you can do it without headphones.
Wow. What's the fastest did you ever get in one of the cars and they take you around?
Yes.
What's the fastest?
About 180.
Oh, that's with the restrictor plates off.
That was in an actual NASCAR stock car. Me driving about 130.
Ooh. Not me.
Man.
I slow down at 55.
Oh, whatever.
Favorite club in your bag?
7-iron.
Do damage with that, huh?
Yep. It's so versatile.
True.
Uh-huh.
How do you not stress during the tournament?
I did stress during the tournament.
Your first year, I mean.
Really, it's just about a lot of deep breaths, a lot of preparation, and making sure that you know what's going on each day. So sitting down and kind of going over your day before it happens.
How tired do you get tired of hearing your name over the walkie-talkie?
Well, last year when I was at the tournament, honestly, I hate the radio. It drives me nuts because you have it attached to your skirt. It pulls it down. I look silly. I really depend on my phone a lot. Thank goodness for the PGA Tour to allow us to use phones now. So I got yelled at quite a bit on the course, I'm not going to lie, for talking on the phone because it's my best way of communication.
Right.
So.
Boy, that would be it. Oh, I'm sorry, I just thinking about tell them. Hey, no, go. By the head. Biggest moment since you've been in Atlanta that you've seen?
Honestly, biggest moment in terms of
sports that you've seen.
In terms of sports, I can say probably one of those fun moments was working for the Falcons, and when we played Green Bay in the playoffs, I want to say it was like 2002 or 3,
went up there
and we actually went up there and beat them.
Yeah.
That was super cool because we'd never done that before. No one had ever beat Green Bay in the playoffs. So.
We did.
Yeah,
so, who was your favorite Falcon?
Who was my favorite Falcon?
While you were there?
Good question. You try to be very just general in terms of who you liked. Algie Crumpler was one of my faves. He was just a good dude.
I can see that,
you
dude.
know,
Yeah,
he was always just, willing to work with us in terms of, I don't look at them on the field. I look at them off the field and how they interact with fans and how they really help support the organization. So he was always great to work with.
Good job. And that's the hot seat.
It's the hot seat.
That was it?
Yeah, hey.
Come on.
When we come back, man, we're going to wrap it up with our friend Allison. So stay with us, Sister Crush.
All right.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America